상대방과 운전 실력을 겨루는 모터스포츠. 그 중에 포뮬러 D가 있습니다. 포뮬러 D에 등록된 60명의 드라이버 중에 한 명입니다. 그리고 그 60명 중에 유일한 한국 출신의 드라이버죠.
June Gentle Mang is the nickname he's been given, and certainly it's because of his soft exterior.
Car out and have him be able to lay it down on the track, and he's just dedicated to to no end.
I've never met anyone like him who is just so respectful and appreciative for everything that he has, and so dedicated to do anything he has to do to get out to drift. Sleeping in his truck, driving thousands of miles.
Yeah. So some people may know about you, but some don't. Could you introduce yourself briefly to
Yes, of course.
the viewers?
Yes, I am June Main. I used to drive in the Formula Drift Pro Championship for about 10 years, which I loved. It's been a big blessing. I miss it a lot. Now that I'm retired, if I get an opportunity to drive again, an offer, I would definitely sign the contract. Sign me up. I'm a big enthusiast. I love vehicles. I love cars.
I'd like to start by talking about your early experience with cars. Since when you like the car, and then do you have any early memories with cars when you were kids?
Yes, since I was very little in Korea, I remember always thinking about cars before and after I sleep, and just fascinated with cars. This one time I remember I woke up and then on top of the TV I saw a blue and a red car. I was like, am I dreaming? It's and it actually was there. And I guess my parents surprised me. They left it when they got home late or something, and I started playing with it, and I was for some reason always fascinated. My parents would drive when I was a kid. I would sit in the car, just imagine I would drive. I'm in the car pretend like I'm driving and stuff like that. I don't know, I just was always in love with cars, and it just kept growing.
Right.
Never ended there. My sister's friend, he's he came over with a Cadillac. It was a 1989 Cadillac. He was playing around, I think, but I took it seriously. He's like, hey, here's the keys, you want to drive it? I was like, sure. He thought I wasn't going to take it out and drive it, and I actually went out and drove it. And he was a little shocked when I came back. He was pretty cool about it, actually, and he sat with me next time around and said, oh, show me what you got. And I just drove around and said, whoa, so this is how it feels to drive. And it was all nice and comfy, and the steering wheel was this big, like a school bus. But yeah, it was fun. That was my first experience driving a car.
So what was your first car you drove? You had?
My very first car that I drove was a hand-me-down. So my older sister got a Corolla. It was a 1990 Corolla 4-door, silver, with black bumpers. And my second sister got it, and then we shipped it out to California from Alabama, and I got it eventually. So that was my very first car. It has a single overhead cam, automatic, manual windows, gray interior. Yeah, it's cassette player. Yeah, very old school.
So it's not the Corolla we know, the 86, right? It's just the Econobox Corolla.
Yes, A92 4-door.
Right. And then from the documentary, I saw you were working on the AE86 as well.
Yes, that was my first drift car.
Okay.
And I remember I was going and I looked on the left side of a red light, and there's a liquor store, and there was a red Corolla for sale with a for sale sign. I was like, oh. So right away I made a U-turn, went in the liquor store. I was like, hey, is that your car for sale? He's like, yeah, it's $500. Can I test drive it? He's like, here's the keys. I was like, do you need my license? He's like, no, it's okay. Just took it for a test drive.
Wow.
Okay. I'd never met him in my life.
Right.
I took it for a real quick spin. I came back. It's $500, and that was when I first bought it. It was a SR5, so it didn't have much power.
Right.
Drum brakes, no LSD.
Right.
So that's how I began. I started with that car.
But from the video, it was white car. Did you paint it or?
I got more Corollas later.
Oh,
yes, that was my very first drift car.
So at that time, you were learning how to drive from videos, Japanese video, options, best motorings, hot version, those kind of videos?
Yes, a lot of videos from that. I used to drive to Torrance every weekend to rent Japanese VHS videos of how to build cars, like how drifting is and what it is. I was so curious, so I would always drive there on the weekend. I started with VHS and then eventually DVD, eventually, and watching a lot of the D1GP DVDs as well. I collected all the option videos. I still think I still have it. I learned a lot because I'm a visual person. When I see, I learn so many techniques just by seeing the reaction of the vehicle and seeing the in-car cam of the driver. I can really grasp exactly what they're doing, and it makes me think, oh, what if I do it this way? Would it be more, faster or better? So it really got me thinking, and I really like to think deep. So I learned so much through that. It helped me a lot to progress as a driver.
So how did you transition from being a car enthusiast to actually getting involved in racing? What were the early steps you took?
My early steps that I took was starting to work at a fabrication shop. So I worked at a fabrication shop called GT Fabrication, and I learned a lot there of fabricating, like cutting, welding, and shaping metal. After that, of course, unfortunately, late night drifting by myself. Because by the time I'm off at work, it's like 2, 3 in the morning. No one's on the road. So I would learn like the safe big road.
Okay.
And sometimes I would come home with my car damaged because I went up the curb.
Right.
And literally tires are like smoking because it's hitting the fenders and everything's messed up. Like, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. But yeah, I learned just like through that.
Yeah, he was initial D. We used to go drifting in the mountains.
Get on camera.
Just like we go to just have fun, go drive the car on the streets, off the cliff, freeway.
Off the cliff. Freeway?
Yeah, like if you see him on the off ramp, freeway, drift around cars. But he doesn't do that no more. He learned his lesson.
And after that, I started competing at the amateur local events. So I actually sat down with my good buddies, Lod and Art. I was like, hey, can you help me? Yeah, I know you're really good with cars and you have tools at home. Can you help me build a car? So I actually looked around and found the S13 Coupe. So within that year, he helped me.
So we're like, what, 14, 15? We're talking about cars looking at Super Street magazine. And we're like, oh, I want this car, I want that rim, I want it silver, this style. I was like, hey, La, I want to be a professional driver. Can you help me build a car? And then what do you know? He's like, yeah, I'm
We
down.
pretty much lived in this garage in the backyard. So one small, one-car garage. He had all the tools you could imagine. He had a pipe bender, the saws and whatnot, the dimple die and all that, so we could build a cage. So we built the car. Late nights we would tune the car on the 710 freeway because we didn't have a dyno. We were in a super tight budget.
Right.
Yeah. So like on the day we would work day jobs, and night after we're done with work we would go work on the car. Ever so grateful to this day for having good friends like that to like come on board with me, and within that year to achieve a Formula D license from drifting at the drift days with Naoki and making it to the nationals in Laughlin, and then achieving a license was like, oh my gosh, thank you God for this opportunity to line me up with good friends and to be able to have this dream come true to real life.
And also, what drew you specifically to drifting as opposed to other forms of motorsport, like not the track racing, but you chose drift at the time? And it was kind of early time of drifting. It was kicking off in the America, but it was not really like super major at that time, right? So
Yes.
what drew you into like drift?
Well, I think it's mainly the excitement, like how a car could look like it's so out of control, but you're fully in control of it. I think that's what drew my attention to this motorsports of drifting. And I was like, wow, I want to be able to be a driver. And I think that's what really caught my attention to like.
And also, racing as a hobby is one thing, but going pro is a completely different story, right? So, especially without financial support from family or sponsors. So, What drove you to pursue this path so passionately?
You know, local events, and I really wanted to become pro because I guess I like competition. It feels like it helps me to become a better driver, competing with the best of the best around the world. So I really wanted to become pro. It did help me competing with the best drivers in Formula D. Really pushed me hard, think and analyze how can I improve, how can I do better. I think that's what really pushed me and to be pro.
The way Tanner talks to the other competitors, he seems like a nice guy, but at the same time, he wants to win, and I know that guy's competitive. But I guarantee you this, when Duke jumps in that seat, he's turns into a different person. He's still the same good person, but he turns into a monster.
And also through the amateur events, I was able to be introduced to so many great friends and partners. Yeah, it's been really, it was a really good adventure together to experience such a great sanction in Formula D. And just the staff there was so welcoming. We would like sleep in the truck, eat ramyeon. When I come to the races around Bergenholz, people like, cup of noodles, welcome to Texas or wherever we may be. Because they always knew me as cup of noodles because I always had cup of noodles, you know, in the stove. 예, 신라면. 아주 시원하잖아요. 열심히 막 운전하는데 좀 따뜻한 거 먹고 싶다. Yeah, so it's very soothing. So we did that.
Basically by himself, you know, eating noodles in his pickup truck and traveling the country by himself, you know, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty crazy, you know, dedicated, you know, he's putting everything into running the whole series out of his own pocket by himself. That's pretty cool.
I always treasure those moments. It was good memories.
Right. I mean, you just told us some stories, but there was a documentary about you aired in Korea. From the documentary, I could see you were starting really grassroots, you know, working on the car yourself, put that on the trailer, like drive like 10 hours, 20 hours, and then race and then come back, right? But then you got sponsors, so like you just said, come and drive. So what was it like, the transition and then the experience of both worlds?
The guy's working in the restaurant during the day, working at night on his car, trying to make the balance, calling sponsors. You know, this guy basically was a one-man band for a long time. You know, a lot of struggling, a lot of sacrifice.
He's focused on fixing a car, talking about people, talking about business. So he's doing everything right now.
Yes, my life during that time was quite exciting. I believe during that documentary is when I was driving for Mazda and Bergenholz Racing.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun, and it was a good learning experience. And of course, I love rotaries. It's so unique having that experience of like, I guess you could say, arrive and drive. Like come and just show up. We'll fly you out. And you drive. I'm like, wow, you know, imagine before driving for someone with that kind of caliber. So yeah, to this day, I'm very grateful. I could focus more on driving instead of worrying about transportation, getting the car ready. And there's so much logistics involved in running a program. At that time, it was really helpful for me to like improve, to have that kind of support from my partners. Definitely a lot less things to do on the list of like, okay, I got to do X, Y, and Z before this event, compared to if I run my own program, it's like, oh my gosh, the list never ends, it feels like sometimes.
And also, looking back on your racing career now, how do you feel about it overall? And then also, can you share a moment that you were particularly proud of?
Overall, I feel like it was a very big blessing to have that kind of opportunity to experience a pro championship. And I am so grateful to have met so many great friends that I could still, even till today, keep in touch and have good relationship with. I'm thankful for everyone that I've met that cross path from that experience, and you know, I'm always gonna treasure, you know, that relationship with everyone, and I hope that we could all, you know, do well in life, you know, and wish the best.
And also, are there any decisions or moments you regret?
Yeah, there's a lot that I regret, you know, like I could have done better. Somewhat younger and somewhat, I think in life I had a lot of room for improvements that I needed to make mentally, and so yeah, there's moments that I do regret a lot of things that I wish I had more of a wiser decision and wiser mouth to say things and do things. And I wish I had that more before, for sure. So I learned from those experiences. Like,
So how did your racing career impact your personal life?
personally, I guess it affected me as like less sleep. Not much sleep involved. A lot of working on the car, a lot of shop time, a lot of garage time.
Like Las Vegas. He would sleep like 3 hours because you could see it on Twitter. up. Wake up an hour later, Twitter.
What are you doing, June? Twittering?
You know, I think if you're up every night till 3 o'clock in the morning trying to respond to every single person that ever said hi, you're insane. You know what I mean?
Sorry, my eyes are shutting, but I hear you. I hear everything you're saying.
You know, because people be like, good luck. And he'll, thank you. You're like, come on. You got like 75 people told you good luck, and you respond to every single person back. I think a little too polite for that. You know, there's no, it's not necessary to do all that. But I think at the events, he's definitely one of the best.
So I guess it personally affected me. It became just a total lifestyle. It's my life, literally. Like when you commit to racing, like in the pro championship, that's literally your life. Like working all the time into making sure it's gonna run well. I enjoyed every part of that. It was totally worth it. Grateful that my family was supportive of it still, even though it was hard for them because I can't really spend time with them as well. But they respected that, so I'm very grateful to my family as well to like understand, let me live my dream and passion.
I used to do it all the time, even in 2007, because I couldn't afford to practice on Thursdays. I would run the course literally on feet and just imagine what I needed to do, check out the track conditions, watch other drivers and study their lines and see what worked and what didn't. Sometimes even during practice on Friday before qualifying, I was limited to my runs, you know. I could only run maybe 2-3 times sometimes and kind of save it for qualifying because I didn't have enough tires, so.
It's worth it. Was every penny, every single second spent to become pro was worth it for me because it was a goal and I achieved that goal. Although I may not have been a champion or got a podium, it was worth it because overall I'm happy. Like I don't not a single minute.
I was in America, and then I was doing some driving schools, track days, and I was more to the grip side, although I drove S14. I wanted to race as of course, professional, and I wanted to compete, but many situations, like I was going to school, and then family was not like fully supported financially, and also time and everything, but you sacrifice all that and then move into pro. What energy and what drove you into those pro, and then dedication, determination?
I think the energy really came, like from just loving cars and just loving cars and really just having that vision of like, okay, 할 수 있어, 하자. 그런 마음을 아주 중요해요. 믿어야 돼요. And without any doubt, 그러면 it always worked out.
You're old now, you need to grow up. And now I'm moving on up on the ladder, so soon enough I could see, myself progressing as a driver and to do more, not just in drifting, but in the racing world, I hope. So it's just the beginning. It's only been 3-4 years. It's not enough time. It takes years to get to where you are and to pursue your dreams. It's not an easy task. That's why a lot of people talk about it and not do it.
And motorsport is a sport, but at the same time, it's a motor. To me, it's like for other sports these days, like elite sports, of course, a lot of money involved, but especially for motorsport, money is heavily involved.
I think right now the car is limiting him. So when he gets up there, I think he's gonna be really good.
And there's some drivers that you can tell that if they had the right equipment, they would do very well. And Jun Meng is one of those drivers who's always had his driving ability was higher than the ability of the car he was.
It was very frustrated sometimes. And I'm pretty sure it's the same situation for many car enthusiasts and also young racing drivers. So any like advice? And
you kind of gotta have to take a step back and say to yourself, okay, 그래도 I still have this, and that. Let's make the best I can do with what I have, and really like maximize with it and be grateful for what you have and really work with that to grow. Let's plant that on a good soil so you could grow that out to bear a lot of fruit, you know? So that was the mentality that I had. So it always worked out.
So if you go back in time and give advice to your younger self, what would you say to younger yourself?
Get more, I guess, education on business portion of it. Because for me, I was just like, no matter what, I'm gonna just keep driving, keep going. Like, that's my passion. I really felt like I lacked the business portion of the pro motorsports business. So I wish I had more experience and education on how to run it in a business point of view. But that was so hard for me at the moment because you know, I loved cars so much, and it was kind of hard for me to like have that input into it. I wish I would work more smarter. I just kept working hard, but like the business portion, I felt like I lacked a lot, and management. So I wish to my younger self, I would suggest better management and more education on the business portion of running a pro team.
So me and my colleagues, we watched D1 cars driving in Japan. I think it was last year.
Yes.
And then we thought like before like 2010, when the drift was like just kicking off and beginning, we could see the cars, you know, momentum and then, you know, like gravity, how it works.
Yes.
But these days, those cars are built so much for only drifting. So of course, more action, more power, but for me, it's just too much angle and then also too much smoke. So it doesn't seem like car anymore.
Yes.
So what do you think about those changes?
I really like it because I really like that aggressive style where the car is just like, oh my gosh, coming in backwards with a lot of speed but not slowing down too much, but really keeping that momentum going. I really wanted to do that more when I was drifting. I actually admire that, like the drivers that could actually pull it off. And to do that, every team is like using the best components, sequential transmissions, quick change rear ends, and you know, 1,000+ horsepower. And each event, it's like you don't know who's gonna win because the cars are built so well. Every team is. I'm glad and happy to see the sport has grown bigger and Formula Drift is doing well. So it's it's pleasant to the eyes.
And also, since you retired, how has your relationship with cars and racing evolved since you stepped away from professional competition? Like,
I think my passion grew even more, and I'm still going through withdrawals from not driving, and it's really hard. Like first couple years was really hard, like not being behind the wheel. I almost felt like I needed like to go get help. Like it was that bad. Like I was really having a hard time. I still to today it's like really hard. Yeah, I'm more hungry to drive now. And even more. So it's weird. It's like I just really love driving that much in cars.
and also, what was your best ranking in Formula D or other?
Best ranking was 4th place in Road Atlanta. I got to a point because I had pretty much a stock SR20 with the T28 turbo, going against factory back Pontiac driver, you know, Solstice, and my car was like overheating, so my engine wasn't happy. And then so that was my best ranking. And then I think Ryan Turk took me out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so after the first run with Ryan Turk, I had to request a 5-minute rule because the car had some issues in the back, the gearing. So, you know, checked out the car, and obviously we couldn't fix it in time. So we let it cool off a little bit for like a minute, and then got back on the grid.
준맹의 차 엔진음이 이상합니다. 하지만 우리의 준맹, 성적이 아쉬울 법하지만 준맹은 사람들에게 손을 들어 화답합니다.
The next round in New Jersey, which is his home course, I paid back. I took him out. Sorry, Ryan. It was fun. But Ryan, he's a really good driver. He's a really good person. He's always friendly, Ryan Turk, and he goes from grassroots too. All the Drift Alliance team, they had me on board for a couple of years as well, and I enjoyed, spending time with Von Good Jr., Chris Forsberg, Tony Angelo, Ryan Turk, and everybody. It was really good times having me over at this place. Every moment I do cherish every moment that I have with everyone.
And also, how about your racing career and then career? So until when you raced, and then when you retire, and then what you do now?
Yes, 2015 was my last season. BMW Z4 with a 2JZ engine. Lucas Oil, MAV TV, they're the title. Associate sponsor was Renault Window Films. So now I work for Renault Window Films, Onyx Shield PPF, and Blast Ceramic Coating. So I represent California. I visited them here in Korea, visit all the brothers and sisters here at our headquarters. So I met them, I learned so much as well. So in life, I enjoy learning. And also it gets me into the car scene, so I'm very thankful in that sense to reconnect with the automotive world and business world. So I'm happy to be working with such a great company.
He even took a moment before we started racing to kind of close his eyes and meditate and give thanks to God for giving him the opportunity to race. And so I think that it plays a lot into his personality, and it's really nice to see someone who has such a good heart both on and off the track.
Definitely too nice. Like working with him that year, for example, you'd ask him, be like, how is it? Oh, it's okay.
Very genuine, and if you need something, he's there for you. So I think that's why a lot of people in this sport rally around him, because he's always there for them as well.
Jun Meng's always been super humble, always says thank you, always says you're welcome, always gives everyone the time of day when you want to talk to him.
And also, I want to ask you really a personal question.
Yes.
If I may. You are known as a Jun gentleman, right?
Yes.
Because of your good nature. I mean, knowing you from a long time ago and then meeting you, especially today also, I can just instantly feel you are a good guy.
Thank you.
But at the same time, something being known as a nice person or nice guy can lead to being taken advantage of. So how did you navigate this in the world of racing and also in life? Asking you because do you have any advice for others who might find themselves in the similar situation?
I felt a lot of that in my life. And sometimes I felt like, am I doing something wrong? Should I not be doing or how I am? Should I change myself? I really was 고민하고 있어요. 진짜 because I do feel like that sometimes. No, I'm not gonna change. That's who I am. Why am I letting people or things or situations change me? I want to be who I am. Why can't I live life the way I want to represent myself? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what I can. So I encourage you to continue who you are, and you will meet the right people. And we could still make decisions. We could say no, we could say yes. So at the end, it was really good. I recommend keep doing the good fight. Keep doing the good things. Be kind. We should live life. Life is too short, really. Helping each other is what we should be doing in life. That's part of let's grow together. 같이 서로 도와주면서 그렇게 살지 더 기뻐져요. Help somebody, I feel good. I feel like I felt useful. Some kind of asset to somebody, better their life.
Lastly, what are your plans for the future? Is there any chance you might return to racing in the same category?
Yes, my plans for the future is live to the fullest every day. 열심히 살면서요. Opportunity, you want to drive for X, Y, and Z company? 그러면 yes, sign me up. Yes, 열심히 살면서 열심히 일하고 레이노하고 어넥시오드 블라스 같이 열심히 하면서요. 그 사장님이요 차를 아주 좋아해서요. 예, 그래서 I look forward to a lot of great things together and building more content, marketing, and maybe some more sports. I love drifting, but also love racing. 미국에서 reconnect 친구들 많아요. And they let me drive their S2000 GR86. Oh my gosh, 너무 재밌었어요. Going 130 on the bank, and oh my gosh, I was really blown away how well he set up the car. I was pushing 70-80%. 그래도 wow, it was so nice. 비같이 눈물 나면서 너무 기뻤어요. I missed it so much. Anything motorsports, racing, drifting, I will sign up in a heartbeat.
Oh, what car do you drive these days?
Personally, these days, I drive a diesel truck. Very boring. So GMC.
No other project car or anything?
No project car. But yeah, I definitely want to get into a fun car. But the truck is working really good with work right now, though, because my work involves a lot of big, PPF film, paint protection film, and they're pretty big boxes. So it kind of works perfect for work. So yes, I'm debating, but we're thinking of getting a company vehicle soon. So once that happens, maybe I could trade it in for like a new M4 stick shift. So it's out of the box ready. Have fun. You could grip and drift. Or maybe go the older vehicle, maybe a JDM car. Kind of debating. Yes.
Like, what's your favorite car, dream car?
I've always wanted to get like a Supra.
Supra.
Yes, Mark IV. I wanted to get a Supra because I'm just a big fan of the engine, the 2JZ. It's music to my ears. How it just the sound is just so pleasing, so nice.
So expensive these days.
Very expensive. Yes. Every time I see one on the track, I'm like, oh, my eyes get this big.
Going to Craigslist.
Yeah, like, oh, too expensive. Oh, and then 세차 사야죠. That's warranty.
That's true. Your story really teaches us a lot, about pursuing passion and dream. Do you have any final words of advice for young people, dreaming of career in automotive or racing?
Yes, I wish you the best, and any hardships, persevere. Just keep believing in yourself, and you can do it. And always surround yourself with friends that help you go up. If there's people that pull you down, it's hard, but you have to say goodbye to those people. That's some of the things that I didn't know before. So I recommend having good friends and keeping that good friend and working together and believe in yourself. And 진짜 열심히 100% 열심히 하면서 no doubt.
But I really appreciate your time and your words. I mean, it's just amazing stories, and then it's really touching. So not just for your career, but personally, so we were really amazed and fascinated about you yourself as a human, really, and as a friend. So thank you very much for coming all the way here. Yeah, and also we wish you come back to a racing scene and then compete again, live your life fully. So I look forward to that.
Thank you so much.
And also, could you sign on the box?
Oh yes, of course. Oh,
Thank you. The car is your first pro car, right?
yes, I had a black coupe, so I bought one that was a project car. Didn't finish it. Just stock SR20, stock turbo, and it wasn't running. So I got it towed to Laud's house, and then he got it running and built together. So that was my first pro car, but I totaled it on my first race.
Oh, really?
I hit the wall at Long Beach, so I totaled it, and we built another one for Atlanta. So it's an interesting way to enter pro, but it was still good.
Good memory.
Yeah, it's good memories. Right on the hood.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I did an autograph. Been a long time.
Thank you.
Thank you.